I think one of the big things with objections that mess salespeople up sometimes is that they believe that the objection that they're being given is the actual objection. Now, by the way, this is not a case where I'm saying the prospect is lying. If
Right.
that's the case, you've got a bigger problem than that. You've got a trust issue. I'm not saying that. I'm saying a lot of times, remember, and I say this to salespeople all the time, that whatever it is you do all the time. You do every day. You know the answers. You know it's a great product or service, and you understand this, that. You've been through the financing, the this, that, but that other person hasn't. So they have questions and they have concerns and they have a lack of confidence and they have certain things, right? And they you don't know. They may feel as though they don't want to ask a question. They may appear ignorant, or they just feel it's going to put them in a bad position, or they just whatever it is. Who knows what's again, we all operate out of our own set of beliefs. So who knows what. And so what happens, they can then go to a standard objection, that whether it's the I've got to think about it, or your price is too high, or the so and so, or whatever, what have you. And so what the general salesperson tends to do, and I used to do this very same thing, is respond to that objection and try to overcome that objection first. That's a very counterproductive way to look at it, overcoming an objection, because to overcome is to convince. And we all know what Dale Carnegie said about convincing, right? The ego of the prospect is not going to allow us to do that. They don't want to be overcome. They don't want to be convinced. So rather than just, and by the way, when you answer that standard objection, it's not in the budget. Your price is too high. I've got to talk it over with so-and-so. We've got to commit, what have you. When you answer that outward objection, okay, you can give the perfect, smooth, wonderful, most fantastic response in the world to the wrong objection, because that's probably not the objection. That's just the manifestation of the objection, which they may not even really know what it is. Okay. So what we need to do is, rather than try to overcome an objection, we need to work within the objection. We need to work with that person, okay, to discover what the actual root of the objection is. So we need to welcome their question, and we need to assure them that it's a great question, because you need to feel very, very comfortable with the process if we're going to be able to, what have you. And then we work together to find the actual root of the objection. Now, from there, we can go through it together and do what we need to do to help them to understand.